Sup nerds, I'm CuppaJoey, and if you're here for some hecking weird ass descriptions of tits, then you're in the right place, because today we're going to be having a look at r/menwritingwomen. And folks, if you have a favourite male author that shows their impeccable understanding of women, well, why don't you go ahead and pop that name down in the comments. Just one sentence is underlined, but it's an absolute golden one. I was staring into two of the most beautifully tipped breasts the world has ever known. They were full and round, and using the standard measure, 3.5 milliboobs per handful. You know, the standard measurement, 3.5 milliboobs. I get that the author was clearly trying to be funny here, but when, the joke is essentially how horny you are, it's very carry on, you know? It's very sort of thing. I mean, I don't know how many people are gonna get that. I don't know how many of my audience is actually British. Maybe people only, subscribe to me because they don't know what the frick I'm on about most of the time, which is absolutely fair enough. Fair enough, I would get that. Yeah, can you imagine it being done in milliboobs? That just means it's, a smaller amount of boob. I'm just imagining, lots of different boobs, clustered around one tit, some kind of, eldritch horror, some kind of breast, mammary-themed eldritch horror. Shab mammary yath or whatever it is. I don't know. I mean, I'm not I'm not too deep on breast themed monster lore, but I'll give it a good go in the future. Expecting a woman to be able to love you unconditionally is setting yourself up for extreme failure. She was not born with the loyalty you and I understand innately. Oh boy, you've been reading up on that Elliot Rodger theory, huh? Reading that big brain Brian Sharpedo. Brian Sharpedo theory there. I'm sorry, oh my god, I just broke myself in my own freaking joke halfway through that. Seriously, what the hell is up with that, freaking innate understanding of loyalty like it's some freaking biological thing? Okay, if we're gonna break this down into freaking reproduction, then assuming that everybody in this example is both cisgender and heterosexual, just for argument's sake, because, we're not even gonna get into the fact that this guy doesn't really want to accept that queer people like us exist. So assuming that everybody is cishet, for a woman, in order to produce a child, it takes 9 months. However, for a man to do his part in creating a child, it's 2 minutes. So I did hear that this may be one of the reasons that women on the whole, again, assuming cis heteronormativity, women on the whole are pickier with partners and therefore more loyal than men who want to spread around their seeds as much as possible. Again, this is going from a freaking one of those health videos that I watched way back in secondary school, and it didn't help. I'm sorry, I'm just none of it helped. So I mean, all of that I just said might be absolute bollocks. I don't know, but I just feel like this guy clearly has a problem with women and is deciding to think, you know what, there must be some scientific reason. I can't be a bigot. It's clearly these reasons. Oh, it's like TERFs again, oh no, I'm not a bigot, it's just biology. Is it though? Is it though? Oh, God. Oh, well, at least he won't need to worry about any women loving him unconditionally, because, yeah, I can see why that might have set him up for extreme failure in the past. Oh yes, I hope that all of the married women are listening now, because this is going to be some top tier advice for all of you. When your husband gets home, here's a bit of advice taken directly from a 1950s home economics textbook. Oh, this is going to be great. It was sent in by a reader along with the comment, "Times have changed." No kidding. Believe it or not, this was part of a course intended to prepare high school girls for married life. Oh no! Oh, it was from a home economics textbook. I thought that it was just a freaking advice. Oh no. Oh right, okay. Well, this is the top tier education you might have got in the 1950s. Have dinner ready. Plan ahead, even the night before too, to have a delicious meal on time. This is a way of letting him know that you have been thinking about him and are concerned about his needs. Most men are hungry when they come home, and the prospects of a good meal are part of the warm welcome needed. Prepare yourself. Take 15 minutes to rest so you will be refreshed when he arrives. Touch up your makeup, put a ribbon in your hair, and be fresh looking. He has just been with a lot of work-weary people. Be a little gay and a little more interesting. That normally gets the men's attention when I'm a little gay to them. His boring day may need a lift. It certainly gets a lift when I'm around gaying it up. Clear away the clutter. Make one last trip through the main part of the house just before your husband arrives, gathering up old school books, toys, paper, etc. Then run a dustcloth over the tables. Your husband will feel he has reached a haven of rest and order, and it will give you a lift too. Remember, ladies, you're only happy if your man is. You don't have your own agency. Prepare the children. Take a few minutes to wash the child. Oh, no, to wash the children sounds okay. It's just the idea of, like, picking a whole child up, and there's just, like, this tub, like a freaking empty dustbin just filled with suds, and then just shoving the kids in and bouncing up and down. Right, kids washed. Okay. Okay, let me try that again. Prepare the children. Take a few minutes to wash the children's hands and faces, if they are small. Comb their hair, and if necessary, change their clothes. They are little treasures, and he would like to see them playing the part. Oh, God. Minimize all noise. At the time of his arrival, eliminate all noise of washer, dryer, dishwasher, or vacuum. Try and encourage the children to be quiet. Be happy to see him. Greet him with a warm smile, and be glad to see him. Some don'ts. Don't greet him with problems or complaints. Don't. Yeah, it just ends with don't. Just freaking don't, okay? Some don'ts. Don't. Okay. Sorted. I mean, can you imagine trying to, like, do all of that? Like, doing all of that crap? Like, you gotta make sure that everything is freaking done before he gets home, right? You gotta make sure that, you know, all of the washing, like washing, drying, the dishwasher, all of that has to be done. You cannot make any noise. You gotta make sure that everything's nice and dusted. Vacuum after, you know, but you don't want him to hear any noise. You gotta make sure that everything's quickly dusted and vacuumed before he gets back. Of course, the kids gotta be washed. So you gotta make sure that you clean up all the kids' toys, right? Then you can dust, then after that you can vacuum, but that all has to be before he gets home, right? And you gotta make sure that dinner's ready, right? That has to be ready bang on when he gets home, or, you know, it's 1950s, it ain't gonna end well for you, love. And, you know, make sure that you touch up your makeup and put a ribbon in your hair and be fresh looking. Don't forget to gay it up, for God's sake, gay it the frick up! Make sure that towards the end you've just got a nice little smile on your face, you know, and look pretty. You don't have any feelings, you don't want to complain, you don't want to tell him about how hard your day was getting everything freaking done on time, because for some reason you have to have the whole house clean and a meal ready before that bastard gets in the door. No. You just smile and go, oh honey. Anyway, that's my course for women. That's God, it's just so terrible. The only part that I agree with is be a little gay. That's the only bit that's worth any kind of merit. Welp, River and Mal found the worst Man Rights Woman excerpt ever. Hey baby, it's happening. I'm ovulating right now. I felt the tingling of my egg coming out. But the most obvious change to Felicia's body from the woman who had let me join her in the shower was a full inch of waistline, added from a burgeoning uterus filled with my bountiful overnight deposits. Imagining those seeds making way into her fallopian tubes, seeking that most precious treasure of eggs and bringing them to life with her flooded womb. I felt myself stiffen once more. Oh, this has to be satire, right? This has to be satire. I don't want to believe that somebody that somebody is that much of an incel, right? I wasn't gonna use the word incel, but like I can't see this being written by somebody who has had sex that doesn't desperately want to have sex, right? It just really reads like I've watched way too much hentai and now I think that that's how anatomy works. Like, it's just, I'm getting so many bad vibes. So I have had a look, I've sort of googled what was written. All I can find are people basically saying, what the heck is this? I can't actually find what novel or what piece of writing I guess it's actually from, so if anybody knows, then please let me know. I don't really want to contact anybody in this because I feel like they'll be inundated with weird responses to this discovery. Mahula was several years older than Cratcher, a pleasant, quiet young man with delicately pink cheeks and blonde, wavy hair. There was nothing else noteworthy about him except possibly his possession of a woman like Zuska. She was as dark as her husband was fair, as lively as he was grave. A dark-skinned, compactly plump girl who had missed beauty, even prettiness, by a face too broad at the cheekbones and a nose that matched. She lacked beauty, but had no need of it. The day after she boarded the ship, every man on it was as keenly aware of her as if she had come among them naked. She had a throaty laugh, a provocative roll to her hips, and could warm a man to the roots of his hair with a look. Oh boy, where to begin with this one? Oh god. This one was so bad. This is from Out of This Furnace, which is a novel by Thomas Bell, who was very, very white, who was a very white man, as it may not surprise you to know. And it was published in 1941, so we are looking at, quite outdated views, I mean, we're not really getting much better today, sadly, but, pretty outdated. So, let's see what boxes we can tick off for this one. The assumption that, black women, unattractive, women with dark skin, cannot possibly be pretty. Yep, that's in there. The fact that even though she's not pretty, she's still definitely a sexual object. They're making sure that despite her apparent lack of prettiness, don't worry, you're not pretty, but all these men still want to shag you, so you're doing alright. And then there's that horrible mention right at the beginning, that there's nothing noteworthy about this gentleman apart from his possession of a woman like Zuska. So, the only thing that he has going for him is that he owns this dark-skinned woman as his wife. But, she's his wife, but he owns her, so, don't worry about that. What a freaking unholy trinity of just, horrible, misogynistic, racists, all those horrible tropes. This was just really grim to see. And the idea of this woman going onto a ship haha, hello men, look at me, and, bouncing around and laughing. Oh, God. This is just so embarrassing. I hate it. I hate it all. Coffee, sir? An aide approached David with a tray of mugs. He gave the tiny-breasted girl the barest shake of his head. Because, that detail was extremely necessary for an aide that's just come in, offered coffee, and then evidently pissed off. Because, if somebody only exists to serve coffee in the universe for, one scene, then the size of their breast is just, paramount. Frankly, at this point, it would be weird, because if she's going, coffee, sir, then you wonder, yes, but is there a jiggle going on? Is there, is she, bombarding through the aisle, smacking people with huge tits as she's going along? Or are they just, just like, oh, just there, a fair amount? But no, these ones are tiny, which, is the ultimate coffee serving size, because, they don't get in the way, you can pick up the cafetiere with ease, these are really important details. Why else would you randomly bring up that someone is tiny-breasted unless it were absolutely vital to know? Anyway, that was a quote from Deep Fathoms. So if you're interested in that book, there you go. Well, my little couplings, that's it for this episode of r/menwritingwomen. I'm so glad that the cis men have finally enlightened us to whatever the heck it is that they were on about. And if you would like to become part of the T-set, all you need to do is hit that subscribe button, and if you give this video a like, it really helps me out, folks. It does. I'm not even kidding. It does mean a lot to me. And if you want to go that extra step and help me out even further, the details of my Patreon are in the description. And until then, folks, I will see you all next time.